River Podcast.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Forever podcast. We've got John here to go through everything Celtic, all your news, rumours, gossip, everything that's been happening in the news, which isn't much, by the way. We're going to have a wee look back on the St Johnstone game. We've got the big preview of the Kilmarnock game. We've got John here to go through everything. How are you doing, John?
I am all good, Xander. All good.
Yeah, that's good, John. Good to hear that. It's been a full week since we've played, obviously. It's not been quick, has it? It's been a long week. You know, once you get beat in a game, John, you want to get right back out on that football field and put the wrongs right, if you like, John. So the chance this week is against Kilmarnock on Saturday, John. We've got that home game against Kilmarnock. Rangers play Aberdeen on the Sunday, so we still have a wee chance to win the league title this weekend if the results go our way. Celtic beat Kilmarnock and Rangers lose to Aberdeen. That's what we're looking for, John, if Celtic want to have this title party this weekend.
Well, that's exactly what we need. Look, we're not a million miles away from clinching the title anyway. We could draw every game from now till the end of the season and still win the league. So I was just hoping for a better performance this weekend, a vastly bigger and better performance.
Yeah, that's it, John. It's, you know, nobody can put their finger on what's went wrong over the last 3 or 4 weeks, John. Getting beat by Rangers, that was unbelievable. Everybody taking points off Rangers, and I mean everybody. And then they turn up at Celtic Park and beat us. And then you've got the St Johnstone game as well. Derek McKinsey's Kilmarnock comes to Celtic Park, John. They're sitting just 1 point above the playoff position, John, for relegation. So that's another team that's going to come to Celtic Park and be battling for the survival, basically.
Aye. Well, look, St Johnstone, who are going to be relegated this season, I think, if they can beat Celtic, Celtic never troubled them, really, to be honest with you. Celtic never troubled them at all. If St Johnstone can beat Celtic with 3 ends of that stadium full of Celtic fans, then I don't see why Kilmarnock can't do it either. It's a worrying for me the way Celtic are playing right now. I don't know if they just took their eye off the ball because they're so far ahead, or is there something else going on that we don't know about? Because for the last month we've been absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it's been quite. In fact, John, we've been saying all season that some of the performances have been, quite lacklustre, John. I know we're in a fantastic position, but I think our position in the league, in general, is due to how poor Rangers are. Let's be honest, John. I know we've been playing some decent stuff this season, especially at the start of the season where we were really flying. But John, to lose to Rangers twice, not great. It's we're not entitled here. We can lose any game at any time, but to lose to a very, very poor Rangers where everybody is taking points off them, Hibs, Motherwell, St Mirren, Queen's Park. I know Queen's Park was in the Cup. Kilmarnock, John, the list goes on and on and on, and then they come and beat Celtic twice. I can't put my finger on that. And then, there are defeats over the last few weeks, Hibs and St Johnstone away. St Johnstone fighting relegation, John, we should never have been beaten by St Johnstone, let's be honest. That was a ridiculous result for us. And it was just as well, as we said on the post-match the other day there, John, it's just as well that Rangers lost to Hibs the day before.
Well, this is it. I mean, it should never be getting beat by St Johnstone, no matter what the situation is. And it's no sounding entitled. You're looking at budgets, the difference of budgets between the two teams. It's actually scandalous the way Celtic played last week and getting turned over by that absolutely garbage St Johnstone team. They disrespected them, but they're absolute guff. Shouldn't they be getting turned over by garbage like that? Why do you think they're getting relegated this season? Because they're absolutely rank rotten, but they can turn over the champions without a problem.
Yeah, well, that's it, John. As I said 2 minutes ago, anybody can lose a game at any time, but this was the chance. I know we said all this on the post-match, right? But this was the chance, for Saturday afternoon to come at 12:30 and for the Celtic fans to party, no matter what the results are elsewhere, John. It was just going to be a massive party. And now the Celtic fans are going to Celtic Park on Saturday. Hoping to win the game, obviously, but, final whistle goes, there's no party, is there?
Well, there's no party, but it's a step closer into it if we do beat Kilmarnock, and it's a big if, the way Celtic are playing. That's how entitled I am, because I'm not taking it for granted anymore, Xander, any Celtic game from now to the end of the season, that Celtic's just going to turn up and beat these teams, because we're really poor right now. Everybody can see it. We're really, really poor. And I think Celtic need to go up another 5 gears to get to where they were. That's that bad.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, John. Yeah, and I actually agree we're quite bad just now. But it's also a chance to right those wrongs, isn't it, John? Celtic Park in front of 60,000. Beautiful sunny day, as you say. A win, more or less. That's it, over, isn't it? If we beat Kilmarnock, it's more or less over. With just 5 games to go, 16 points clear. That's it in the bag, more or less, no matter what Rangers do at Pittodrie, John. But let's get into the preview then, John. That sets us up nicely for the big preview of Celtic against Kilmarnock. Let's get right into it. Big Carter Vickers, he did the press conference earlier on Friday, didn't he? Just saying what full concentration is on Kilmarnock. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I heard it all before. We want to see it on the park, John. We don't want to hear players talking about it. We want to see the action on the park, but we want to see a more dynamic Celtic from the word go on Saturday, John, because the last few games we've been conceding early goals, and it's an uphill struggle from there. So we want to see a dominant, fast, coming out the traps fast Celtic against Kilmarnock, and maybe even get a wee early goal. That'd be nice.
Of course. I just want to see Celtic hit form by the time we get to Ibrox, because I don't think I could take another one of these defeats off with them. Such a poor Rangers side turning us over. It's soul destroying. We shouldn't be getting turned over by that garbage. Like says earlier, every single team in the league's taking points off them, especially at Ibrox. But these teams are just showing up against Celtic and turning us over. It's something no right there, Xander. We've got to hit the ground running tomorrow. From that game till the end of the season, I want to see huge, huge improvements in that team, because, like I say, they've got another 5 gears to go up.
Yeah. And do you think Brendan will maybe bring some changes, John? I know we'll go through the 1 to 11 predictions in 5-10 minutes, John, but just now, just a wee quick thought. Do you think he's going to make changes? The players that didn't perform against St Johnstone, your Nicholas Coons, your Jotas, the ones that didn't perform, Arnie Engels, a few other ones, John. Do you think he's going to bring some changes, or do you think he's going to give these boys another chance against Kilmarnock?
I don't know. I think so. I think you might see a couple of changes. I don't think there'll be wholesale changes, but I think you maybe see a couple of changes. Well, we don't know. It's just a guess, but if you're going to judge the team by that performance against St Johnstone last week, if I was the manager, I would certainly be making changes.
Yeah, that's it, John. It's, looking at that performance last week, it was so poor, actually, wasn't it? But it's a different game, it's a different day, it's a different stadium, so we'll wait and see what happens. Let's move on then, John. Referees for this one is referee Beaton. He's the man in charge at Celtic Park on Saturday, and on the VAR we've got Gavin Duncan. He's your man on the VAR, so that's your officials for the game on Saturday, John. The weather watch for this one, just very warm, John. 16-17 degrees, nice and warm, nice and sunny, a wee bit overcast. So a wee bit overcast with some sunny spells there, John. Just a beautiful day, and it would have been a beautiful day for a title party, John.
Aye, it's been a beautiful day since last week. The sun's been amazing, isn't it? It's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Beating on the whistle, and it sounds like a right Celtic man, old Gavin Duncan. Like I've said before, have you ever known anybody called with the name Duncan that's a Celtic fan? I've not.
No, I don't know many Duncans, mind you, but no, I don't know anybody.
I mean, we mentioned that Duncan before. Remember, I was telling you about Duncan McPhee used to eat the raw sausage.
Aye, there's always him, I suppose, but no, John.
He wasn't a Celtic fan, by the way.
Obviously no, right. Right, Gavin Duncan anyway, John, we just don't want him involved in the game whatsoever. We don't want any incidents where VAR has to get involved on Saturday, John, and beaten as well, John. We want him to have a quiet game as well. That's all we're looking for. Fair play all round, John. That's all we want.
Well, that's all. Every team wants fair play. You certainly won't get any favouritism. Let's put it that way. We know that's not going to happen. There ain't going to be any favouritism. So we can only ask for honesty from these officials. And we've seen in the news recently about referees admitting they got stuff wrong. VAR officials getting stuff wrong at Easter Road and all that stuff, Sander. It's all coming out now.
Yeah, it's coming out, John. The Dyson Media, no penalties, etc. I wanted. There was quite a few incidents. Alan Muir, wasn't it? He was the man that's been dropped by the SFA. So yeah, it's too late though. The points are gone already, you know. But anyway, fair play, John. That's all we're looking for, as I says. Okay, we word on the betting. We quick look at the betting. 11-5. 11-5. Goodness sake, 1-5. Sorry, Celtic to win at Paradise on Saturday. 13-2 the draw, and 12-1 Kilmarnock, who, John, are fighting for their lives. You got to remember that they are fighting for their lives. They've been dragged right into this relegation battle. Albeit the one at the weekend there with a 2-0 win against 10-man Motherwell. But they're still down there, John. They're still battling for their survival. So they're going to give us a really tough game. And they've got a few decent players as well. But the bookmakers are pricing them at 12-1 to leave Celtic Park with all 3 points.
Well, the price St Johnstone at 18-1 to beat Celtic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
18-1.
That's it.
You know what I mean? If you had a couple of quid on that, well done. But that's what you're looking at, you know. So these odds don't actually mean that much to me when it comes to bookies, because anything can happen in a game. I was seeing it at St Johnstone last week, so I don't really read into odds.
Yeah, that's it, John. And anything can happen. And I think the odds are actually reflected on last week's game. 18-1 St Johnstone, you know, at home, remember, at McDermott Park, and Celtic, Kilmarnock coming to Celtic, at 12-1. So maybe reflected on the odds there, because you'd think teams coming to Celtic Park that the odds would be even greater, but it's not the case. They've reduced the odds to 12-1, and Kilmarnock and St Johnstone are a sort of similar position in the league as well. So yeah, that's quite interesting actually. John, that's quite interesting. I forgot that they'd priced 18-1 St Johnstone last week. And as you say, anybody that had a couple of bob on that, and well, fair play to them. Right, John, let's move on then. Let's go into some of the forums. As I says, Kilmarnock just off the back of beating Motherwell, 10-men Motherwell. 2-0, I think it was, John, last weekend. So maybe their morale will be up a wee bit coming to Celtic Park. But Kilmarnock have only gained 9 points away from home all season, John. So their form away from home isn't great.
No. Derek McInnes is still there, right enough. But it's looking like it's between St Johnstone and Kilmarnock who's going down into it. Right now, it's St Johnstone. I think St Johnston's it's either 5 or 6 points behind Kilmarnock, so they're still quite a bit behind them.
Yeah, I think there's 7 points behind St Johnstone, and only 1 point. Yeah, only 1 point ahead of Dundee, John. So it's St Johnstone, Dundee, and then Kilmarnock, but only 1 point separating Dundee and Kilmarnock. It's very tight in there.
It certainly is, but I don't care who goes down between the two. I don't like any of them anyway. Well, I didn't mind St Johnstone until their antics with the ball boys last week. It's not the ball boys' fault, but you know what I mean. Sending their players around to tell the ball boys not to give Celtic the ball back and all that stuff. See, after that, I'll say it. Says it last week and I'll say it again. I hope they get relegated just for that.
Yeah, well, John, it's funny you should mention that actually, because I put it on YouTube, but I put it on Facebook as well. The video regarding the ball boy incident, and I just asked the question: did you find it funny or did it annoy you? Right, which is fair enough. And a lot of people were really angry with it, right? But there was one commenter, right, that said, you know, people getting annoyed about things like this, ball boys, they're fighting for survival, leave them alone, all this kind of nonsense, right? And there was 17 likes beside it, right? So I had to reply to this, I say, so this is where the beautiful game has gone, that people are actually accepting this nonsense from managers from other clubs, sending players out to tell ball boys to waste time. That is where the beautiful game has gone, is it? And no reply to that, John. It's actually ridiculous where football is ending up, John, and where it's heading, to be honest with you, because that last week, although, some people did find it funny, found it kind of funny myself, but when you look at the bigger picture, that was ridiculous. That manager sending players round all the ball boys and ask them to waste time is pathetic.
Well, you're looking for fair play. I don't find it funny in the slightest. Not in the slightest did I find that funny. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at get the win over, try and get this game won so we can celebrate after beating Kilmarnock. If we beat Kilmarnock, I mean. I'm looking at that. I'm looking ahead to the next week. Are we going to be celebrating at Celtic Park next week? And it's totally ruined the whole thing. I'm not saying Celtic would have scored, but they might have. And their ball boys just ignored the ball when it went out the park. Nobody was giving Celtic the ball back. I'm looking for fair play there, Xander. It's all right wasting time with, taking your time with a goal kick or a throw in or something like that. Kid on, you're going to throw it and then drop it down for the next guy to run. All that stuff, you expect that in football. But see, doing that, sending your players, your subs around to tell every ball boy not to give Celtic the ball. No, I'm raging with that. And I hope they get relegated for it. I don't find it funny in the slightest.
Yeah, there was hundreds of unhappy comments, John, just the comments alone. No, I mean, people that viewed it, there was thousands of people viewed it, but a lot of unhappy commenters as regards to that. A lot of people weren't bothered about it either. But John, we're going off track. Let's get back to the Kilmarnock game, John. Let's get back to it because Kilmarnock, John, the worst away record in the league, against the best home record in the league. So best home record against worst away record in the league. It really should just point to one winner. I mean, the Celtic players, they want to come out and, as I said, put the wrongs right as well, John. So you've got to take all that into account. And the fact that we're more or less one game away from the title, John. For me, it should really point to just one result.
It should. I've said it already. It doesn't always work out that way. I don't buy into these odds and all that stuff. I know Kilmarnock's got a bad record away from home. Celtic good at home. But I'm looking at Celtic's form right now. They're really, really poor. There's got to be a huge step up, like I keep saying. It's got to be a completely different Celtic that shows up. Completely different. Even 50% better than what they were last week is enough to beat Kilmarnock. But we'll wait and see. We can only hope Brendan's noticed a problem and he's rectified it. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah, I think Brendan's was part of the problem last week, to be honest with you, John, with the team that he selected. But we'll get into that when we get to the predicted 11, John. Kilmarnock, just stick with Kilmarnock for the time being. 53 goals conceded in 32 league games this season, John. That is a very leaky defence. I think Kilmarnock started the season quite well. I thought they played some nice stuff. They were winning games. They beat Rangers. I think they drew with Rangers as well. Well, that's no any great shakes, is it, I suppose? But, they were playing well, John. They were high up in the league, sitting sixth position at one point. And then as the season went on, John, they're conceding goals, maybe 2 goals a game. 53 goals in 32 games. It's very leaky defence.
It is leaky. But Celtic's no great in front of goal right now either. So it's a case of a bad attack against a bad defence. Who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, that's as I say, it should be just one winner. But, Kilmarnock come to Celtic Park, John. They always give us a game. McInnes has got them playing some decent stuff. He really has. The Poppy boy. Previous couple of games we've met already this season, John. The first game was at Celtic Park back in August, wasn't it? 4-0 win for the champions there. Very comfortable. Very nice and easy on the eye. Early season game. 4-0 win for Celtic there back in August last year. And then in November, John, last year as well, the start of the winter, we had a 2-0 win at Rugby Park as well. So 2 wins, two out of 2. We're just looking for 3 out of 3.
Aye, as Meatloaf says, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 or 3 ain't bad, but it would be bad. It would be bad on Saturday, John. If that was the case, it would be really bad, wouldn't it?
If it works that way, you can always sign that wee song to yourself.
Yes, but no, I don't think that will happen. I think you're the same, right? But you say you can't take nothing for granted, especially the last 3 or 4 games we've played. It's not been great, is it? You know, I don't know. I don't know if this getting beat with Rangers at Celtic Park has affected the players. Maybe, John. That's where the manager's got his earn his wages, John. He's got to get into these players' heads. They're the champions. They're top of the league for a reason. They're going for a treble as well, John. That's what Brendan's getting paid the big bucks for. You know, kind of let morale slip. He just cannot let any morale slip whatsoever, John. These Celtic supporters all over the world are demanding a treble here.
Aye. Well, look, after going back to the Rangers game, you can't expect to defend the way Celtic did and beat Rangers, so they can only blame themselves for getting beat with them because the defending was amateur at best. So they can only blame themselves for that. If that's the case, they're sad about getting beat by Rangers. Well, you've got to pick yourself up and get on with it. Look at yourself, dust yourself down, question yourself. How bad was our defending that day? How bad were we? Because they were absolutely brutal that day. Getting outdone by long balls and all that crap. The way Rangers played, just a long punt up the park, and they were getting outdone by it. So they can only blame themselves.
Do you think there's maybe a mini clear out required, John, at the club? Get rid of some more deadwoods, players that have not been performing. Obviously, Brendan would want to bring new players in the summer, so maybe get rid of another 3 or 4. I know we had a clear out in January, didn't we? But do you think there's maybe 2 or 3 that could be on their way, and then maybe get maybe 3 or 4, maybe between 5 and 10 million players in?
Well, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen, but I do think there is a clear out needed. We can get into that later if you want, but there's definitely the players at Celtic right now, they're all really good players. They're all cracking players. They're no gelling right now. There's something missing right now, and I don't know what it is. It's like imitation versions of these great players that we've got. That's what it's like. It's like watching an imitation Celtic. Just the last few weeks anyway, it's been really poor, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Celtic supporters are not happy. But I think, John, you look at the game on Saturday against Kilmarnock, and then that's the split after that. Into the 5 games, we don't know who we play after that, but it's the split after that. So you've got your 5 games and the split as well. I think if we beat Kilmarnock, and obviously we could be champions, obviously that's a separate issue. But if we beat Kilmarnock, then John, and then win all your games up to Ibrox, and then take care of them, I think the players will be absolutely fine. Going into the Scottish Cup game. When is the Scottish Cup game, John? Is it maybe another fortnight away against St Johnstone at Hampden? Is it late April? Is it? So I think we'll be absolutely fine by the time we get to that game, John. But we certainly can't take that one for granted, John. I think you're going to see a totally different Celtic, especially when we get to Hampden.
You think so?
Yeah, John, I really do think so. I think the players have put the tools away. Let's be honest, they've put the tools away, thinking the job is done. Especially after Hibs beating the Rangers, John, last weekend, and then we go to Perth, John, to play St Johnstone. The players put the tools away. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. It's, the Rangers game as well. But many points were we ahead of Rangers when we played them? Was it 16 points ahead? Again, the tools were away, weren't they? You're too far ahead in the league. The league's over. And I'm not saying it's right or it's an excuse or anything like that, John. If anything, it's pathetic, John. If that's the case, we shouldn't be thinking that way, putting tools away because you're 16 points clear. If you're 16 points clear, you should be desperate to be 19 points clear, John. That's the way I look at it.
Aye, but there could be, like you says, a wee bit of complacency. You're so far in front, you start taking it easy. You've got to go out there and earn the wages that you're on. 30 grand, 35 grand a week some of these players are on. And you could pick anybody up from junior football that could do a better job than they're doing right now. I mean, you've got to earn your wages, Xander. That's big, big money. You've got to go out and earn that. The semi-finals is 20th of April, by the way.
Yeah, the 20th, yeah. So, but is that what's the day's date, the 10th or something, isn't it? So yeah, it's just over a week away then, isn't it?
It's next Sunday.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, there you go. I thought it was 2 weeks away. Anyway, yeah, well, we need to be beating Kilmarnock then, John, because we want to go into that one on the back of a win. You know, we could be going into that one on the back of being champions, crown champions. So we'll just need to wait and see there, John. Okay, let's get into the team news then, John, for both teams. Let's start with, who will we start with, John? We'll start with Celtic. Schmeichel, obviously, has been confirmed, John, that it's a 5-week layoff for Casper with his shoulder injury. But I think we said 5 weeks anyway, didn't we? So that's been confirmed. 5 weeks for Casper. John, looks as though he's going to miss the rest of the season.
It looks that way. It's unfortunate, isn't it? We've lost our keeper. But you just need to live with it and get on with it. That's all you can do. So good luck to Casper in his recovery.
Yeah, that's it, John. Good luck to him. And I think that's it for injuries for us, John. I think everybody else is okay. Scales has returned. He's back to full fitness. Who else was it? Bernardo, he's obviously back to full fitness also. Anybody else that had niggles or injuries, John? I think that's it. I think everybody's ready and fit to go, John. So that's Celtic. Let's move into Kilmarnock. Kyle McGuinness, he's out with a knee injury. The big man, Kyle McGuinness, he's out for this one. Tom Wilson-Brown, never heard of him, but he's a doubt anyway. Tom Wilson-Brown, he's a doubt. And Big Vassell, John, he's back in contention after a layoff of 2 months, John. Big Vassell back in contention for the Celtic game.
A good player, Vassell, isn't he? A very good player. He always gives Carter Vickers a hard time. I like him. I like Vassell. I think he's a good player, half decent player. Plays with a smile on his face as well. I do like him. But well, I don't know the other players that you mentioned. McGuinness, I know him obviously, but the what was the other one? Some kind of brown guy, something brown.
Something brown, yeah. Tom Wilson-Brown, I love the Biffy Bix, by the way. Yeah, Tom Wilson-Brown is a doubt. We were laughing last week, John. We weren't laughing after the 90 minutes, so let's hope that doesn't happen again.
You're allowed to have a wee laugh.
I know, I'm only kidding. Right, John, let's move into who I think the starting 11 is going to be for Kilmarnock, and then you can give me your prediction for Celtic. Right, John? Murray in goal. O'Hara in goal. Ndaba, Finlay, Wright, Murray, Anderson, Mayo, Wales, Lyons, McKenzie, and Armstrong. That's my predicted 11 for the Kelly Pie boys. John, what's your predicted 11 for Celtic then? What's your thoughts? I know I always put this on you, John, and it's a wee bit of thought required, because is he going to make some changes after last weekend's pathetic performance? Let's be honest, it was dreadful. So is he going to make some changes for this one? Or is he going to stick with the tries and tested? What are you thinking, John?
I'm thinking changes. Here. I'm thinking obviously the goalkeeper, Sinisalo, is going to start. Defence is always the concern, isn't it? It's always the concern. Defence is terrible just now. So I would like to see Carter Vickers beside Naroki.
Yeah.
As with most Celtic fans, if I'm being honest, if they're being honest, because Trusty does nothing for me, Xander. I'm sorry. He's hot and cold all season. He's been really poor when he has played the last couple of months. So I'm looking for Naroki to start this one. I was looking for him to start last week. He never started. So I'm going for Carter Vickers and Naroki with Alistair Johnston, of course, he'll start. We need to see an improvement in Alistair as well. We need big improvements from him. And who's the other boy again? Schlupp, aye. I keep forgetting his name. I called him Schloom last week.
Jeffy will start if they're getting subbed last week at half time, John?
I think so. I've got a big mushroom. Definitely slow. I would like to see Greg getting a start. I mean, I want to see Greg Taylor sign the contract, to be honest with you. I want to see him remain a Celtic player.
Yeah.
So you might see Greg Taylor starting.
Yeah, I think he'll start.
You might see him, aye, you might. Yeah. I'm going to go for him, actually. I'm going to go for Sinisalo, Vickers, Naroki, Alistair Johnston and Greg Taylor.
Yeah.
Centre of the park, Callum McGregor. And this is a change I really want. and you know I've been saying it for weeks. It's got to be like McCowan for me, Xander. It's got to be. It's got to be McGregor, McCowan, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but Hatate, who's been terrible as well, by the way. But for me, there's no place for Arnie Engels in the centre of the park until he bucks up his ideas. He does nothing for me. So I'm going for McGregor beside McCowan and Hatate.
Yeah.
Up front, Dyson through the middle. Jota on the left, who also needs to get his act together pronto.
Yeah.
Hatate, Jota, and this is a tough one. Yang or Kuhn. Kuhn's been doing nothing. Another guy that's done nothing. A guy that was on fire all season. But I'm going to go for Yang in this one. I would also like to see Flores start on the left instead of Jota, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll start with Jota, but I think you're right with the Yang scenario as well, John. I think we'll start with the Yang. He looked quite sharp last week when he came on against St Johnstone, didn't he? He looked, a lot more dynamic than Kuhn, to be honest with you. As regards to Engels, John, I think he'll start. Unfortunately, because I agree with you, I think it should be like McCowan starting ahead, or even Bernardo, John, either one of the two of them. Get them starting ahead of Arnie Engels, because he's doing nothing right now anyway. He's doing nothing. And I think all these boys are going to be battling for a place in that semi-final as well. You've got to remember, John.
I forgot about Bernardo, by the way. I'd like to see him start ahead of Hatate or McCowan in Hatate's position, and or vice versa. But I would like to see Bernardo getting a start with McGregor and McCowan. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, McGregor, McCowan, and Hatate. That would be the pick for me, John. And then you've got Arnie Engels and Bernardo on the bench if needed. So. But wait and see, John. We'll wait and see. It's 12:30 kick-off. The team will be announced around about 12 o'clock, so we'll wait and see what happens nearer the time, John. Right, score prediction time. What do you think?
It's tricky, isn't it? You're trying not to make an idiot of yourself if they're getting all these games you think you're going to win, getting them wrong. But, you just don't know what Celtic's going to turn up. Surely they've had a look at themselves this week. Surely there's something in the pipeline. You're going to see Celtic crank it up a few gears and hit Kilmarnock with a 4-0 win.
4-0. Yeah, I'll go 3-0, John. Nice, comfortable afternoon for us. That would be absolutely perfect on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, John. That would be ideal. And then we could all just put our feet up and watch the Rangers and Aberdeen game. With a champagne in the fridge, John, of course. So that's something we could all look forward to if we get the 3 points against Kilmarnock. Failing that, John, a draw, anything like that, John, it just goes into the games after the split.
This is it. And we need to wait to see who we get in the split. Let's hope it's a favourable one. Look, I want the league over before the split. And like I was saying last week as well, I'd like Celtic to win the league, on their own merit, basically. Go out and win a game, and if they win that game, they win the league. I want to see the Celtic fans celebrating in the stadium if Celtic win the league. Do you know what I mean? I'll take any kind of win, any kind of results at Pittodrie or whatever to win as a league, but personally, I would like to see Celtic win the league by, playing a game against somebody, full-time whistle goes, we've won the game and we're champions, and the players can celebrate with the fans. That's what I want to see. So in a way, in a strange kind of way, I'm kind of hoping Celtic win against Kilmarnock and Rangers win against Aberdeen. That's a kind of strange thing that I've got in the back of my mind, because I like the idea of Celtic winning the game in front of their own fans to win the league, Sander. That's just my feelings.
Yeah, well, John, I actually think what's going to happen now, we'll get into the predictions in a wee minute, SPL roundup in a wee minute. But I think, John, you're right. I think Celtic will win on Saturday, and I think Rangers will draw on Sunday against Aberdeen, which means, the 15 points clear with 15 available, John. So that's it done, but not mathematically. That would be very strange, wouldn't it? The league is over. It's over as it stands anyway, but you know what I mean? The league is over. Points-wise, can be caught points-wise. The only way you can be caught is with goal difference, and we're already, 30 odd goals ahead of Rangers anyway. So with a draw with Aberdeen and Rangers, it's still over, John. So that's what I think is going to happen. A draw at Pittodrie and Celtic to beat Kilmarnock.
Aye, that would be a strange one because Rangers are never going to catch Celtic's goal difference. That's an extra point there, you know. So, aye, they're not going to catch Celtic in goal difference. I would accept that, a draw. I would accept it because, like I say, in a strange kind of way, I want Celtic to win the league off their own back. Just the next game after the split, we basically get, I don't know, just let's say it's, I don't know, Hearts at home or Hibs at home or whatever, and we beat them and win the league. And we celebrate in front of the fans. That's what ideally that's what I would like. But I'll take anything to win the league.
Right. Yeah, that's it. It's interesting. It's exciting, John. Things are a wee bit, you know, I don't know, sort of an anti-climax sort of feeling because of what's happened over the last few weeks. Getting beat with Rangers, getting beat with St Johnstone, getting beat with Hibs, John. Maybe that's, you know, right now Celtic fans should be in party mode. We really should, and I don't see it just now. And hopefully that'll change over the weekend. Right, John, SPL roundup. Let's do this quickly. Everybody got nothing right again last week, I'm afraid. Nobody got anything again. So it's still 10-8, John, with only 5 games to go. So you're still in favour position here, John, between our competition between us two. Let's get right into it then, John. Dundee United against St Johnstone on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Mon the Arabs. Mon the Arabs. That's all I can say. Let's go for 3-0 to Dundee United.
That's it, John, and I think it will be. I think it'll be close. But I think Dundee United will win 2-1 at home there for me. Motherwell against the Jam Tarts, John, at 3 o'clock Saturday.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Hearts.
Motherwell beat last weekend when at 10 men Kilmarnock. 10 men Motherwell against Kilmarnock, sorry. So yeah, 1-0 win for me against Motherwell for Park there, John. St Mirren against Ross County, 3 o'clock Saturday.
1-0, not a 1-0 win for who's under Motherwell or Hearts?
1-0 for Hearts. Sorry, John. Did I not say no? 1-0 for Hearts, John. Away win.
All right. And who was the next game?
St Mirren Ross County.
St Mirren Ross County. I'm going to go for a St Mirren win here, 1-0.
1 each, John, for me in that one. Sort of a battle there, isn't it? Ross County are still down there as well. Okay, let's move into Sunday. A few games to look at on Sunday. We'll get to the first, the Championship in a wee minute, actually. With Brunei, etc. John. Aberdeen against the Rangers, John. 12 o'clock kick-off on Sunday.
I'm going to say a 2-1 win for Aberdeen.
Right. I'm going to say the draw, actually, John. 2-2 for me. 2 each in that one. Although I do have a wee feeling that Aberdeen are actually going to win this one. You know, after Rangers' exploits in midweek in Europe, I think the Dons will win it. But with my, betting head on, if you like, if I was putting a Cootum on, it would be a draw for me, that one. And then it's Hibs against Dundee at 2:30 on Sunday.
Aberdeen's had a wee bit of form, Xander. They're quite a good team again. They're playing well, Aberdeen. So I think Aberdeen will get the win on in that one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, which would make us champions, John, if we beat Kilmarnock.
Aye, definitely, aye. Yep. So there you go. So what's next?
Hibs, Dundee.
Well, it's got to be a Hibs win, that one, isn't it? Dundee fighting relegation as well. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 Hibs.
Yeah, that's a comfortable one for me there, John, for the High Bees. Looking to get that Europa League place in the third place. So 2-0 against Dundee for the High Bees. And well done last week. The High Bees as well, John. Right. Let's quickly go into the ladies' game, John, just for a wee minute. Get a wee prediction off you for this one. It's a massive one, isn't it? Sunday. Massive game. There it is, John. Rangers versus Celtic on Sunday. 4:10 kick-off. You'll get that on your Fire Stick if you look close enough. Celtic ladies not doing too great. Rangers are not doing too great either, actually. But just a wee prediction after you, John. Rangers against Celtic.
I don't know. It's a tough one because I don't watch it. I don't watch any of that stuff. I used to watch it, but I'll go for you've got to go with the girls. Give them a wee win there. Go for 2-1 to the girls. The Celtic girls.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm going to go 3-1 there, John. There you go, 3-1 to Celtic, that is. Right, John, I'm looking for Brunei's game this weekend. I don't see anything. I don't know if they're playing on Monday or something, but let's start with Lenny then. Lenny watch. All these players, ex-players that we're watching. Queen's Park, John, against Dunfermline. What's your thoughts there?
Queen's Park, the conquerors of Sefco at Ibrox. I'm going to go for a Lenny win. It's got to be a Lenny win for me, Xander. I'm going to go 2-0 Dunfermline. And by the way, I was looking at the Brunies. They're playing tonight.
Yeah, I've got that here. Falkirk in it.
Falkirk, 1945 kick-off, 7:45. Ayr United against Falkirk. But I'm going to, anyway, on the previous game, I'm going for a 2-0 Dunfermline win. Get wee Lenny another wee win there.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Queen's Park, John, to be honest with you. I think Lenny needs to get his own players in there before he can start doing some damage. That'll be it. That's a Rangers special. That's next season for Lenny, I'm afraid. Ayr United Falkirk, John, you just spotted it there, didn't you, on the Friday night? That's a massive game. That's massive. This could be an actual decider. I don't know how many points there is between these two. But I think if Falkirk win it, that's it. It's done and dusted. But if Ayr win it, it's still wide open there, John. What are you thinking?
It's a top of the table clash. So it's at home for Ayr United. But Falkirk are a really good team. John McGlynn's got them absolutely flying.
Yeah.
They're well ahead at the top of the table, Falkirk. I mean, they're 11 points ahead of Ayr United. 11 points, Sander. They're not going to win the league, Ayr United. It's a playoff spot for them, if anything. And Ayr United's also 3 points behind Livingston in second. So
yeah,
I'm looking
it's a must win.
It's a must win. It is a must win. I'm going to go for that. Ayr United getting that one. I'm going to say Ayr United taking Falkirk by 2-1.
Okay, John. 1 each for me there. Ayr United against Falkirk. I think Falkirk are just too strong for Ayr United or anybody for that matter. Right, John, we're going to need to call it a day very soon, John. Just I'll need a wee quick sum up for you, John, about this weekend in the game, especially on Saturday against Kilmarnock, and then the chance to be champions, John. What's your wee final sum up, buddy?
Well, we could win the league this weekend. I think the chances are we will win the league this weekend, and that's to me it's a wee bit of an anticlimax because Celtic isn't playing when we win the league. If we win the league, that is. But to me, that's a wee bit of an anticlimax because I like to see Celtic playing. The full-time whistle goes and the Celtic fans are celebrating with the players and all that. That's what I love to see. But I don't think that's going to happen because I think Celtic's going to beat Kilmarnock and I think Aberdeen's going to beat Rangers. So I think we'll win the league this weekend. And hopefully once the full-time whistle goes at Pittodrie, the Celtic fans get themselves along to Celtic Park, get the fireworks ready and celebrate. And then we can celebrate again once we get the cup at the end of the season. The league title, we can celebrate again. So that's a double celebration. And then hopefully Scottish Cup, we get that. That's a triple celebration. But these things will take care of themselves, and we'll see. But I fully expect a win for Celtic tomorrow. I think it'll be convincing, and I think Aberdeen will win, and that will hand us the league on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll take it right now, John. Don't care if we don't play or not, to be honest with you, as long as we get that title over the line, and then we can celebrate every day from now to the end of the season. That's what we're looking for, John. I remember the Rangers did that during COVID. Every time they played, they were celebrating, That's what we should be doing, John. We need to stop taking these league titles for granted and celebrate every single one, as if it's your first. That's the way I look at it, John. Right, John, we need to leave it there. Thanks for coming on, buddy. No time for comments, unfortunately, folks. We'll do the comments on the post-match on Saturday. We'll do a post-match on Saturday, folks, and we'll catch you all for that. Thanks for coming on, John, and hail, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you all very soon.
Speak to you later, Xander. Hail, mate.
Hail, buddy.